Hello everybody, it's Claudia. How are you? We need to have a conversation. People don't want to be around you unless you are happy. Probably seems like super basic. I didn't just come to this realization right now, but it's something that like every once in a while it just hits me. People don't want to be around you unless you are normal. And I don't know if it's like just finding the right people, and that won't happen. What I have found in my period of reflection is if you are sad, or personally like in times that I've been sad, they really just will just distance themselves from you. They do not want to be around you unless you're like 100% completely normal, which is just weird. Like if you're friends with somebody, you would think it wouldn't be like that, but it seems that that is not the case. I have a bunch of examples of this happening, but one, sometimes you just think about stuff and you're like, that's kind of crazy. I guess that's just kind of where I'm at, just reflecting on some of the friendships that I've had in the past. And I had this one friend, and we were friends for maybe like 3-4 years, like decent amount of time to like consider yourself close to the person. She was the type of person who would like, I guess she was very like performative. Like if she heard something in the news or something, like, oh, did you hear about this like police brutality or like whatever it was, or like that was like a serious topic, she would like discuss it with me. If I would say like, hey, like I'm sad about this, or I'm frustrated, or like whatever, she just like didn't know how to process my emotions. It's like in real time, but that's fine. Like you don't always know what to say. The problem was that she would then like not talk to me for a while. Like I remember and it's so weird because like I remember one time we hung out and she brought up that like she announced to me that one of her mutual friends passed away. I was like, I didn't know yet. So she told me, she broke it to me, and I was like, this is somebody that we both knew. We all met kind of at the same time, and that was like kind of hard for me. Like I think like I've had like 2 people that I know and that I was like kind of close with pass away, like her being the second one. This friend that I'm talking about, like she did not talk to me. Essentially that was like the last time I saw her. I honestly feel like that kind of played a role, just based off her previous behavior. It's like anytime something bad has happened, or whatever, she would like leave a gap of time before like hanging out with me again. And so it's like she knew that eventually once we hung out again, we would have to like have a conversation, because the last time we saw each other, like we had the conversation about this friend that is no longer with us, if that makes sense. And I don't know if she just didn't want to have that conversation, but yeah, like she just would not talk to me after that. And I messaged her like maybe a few weeks after seeing her, and then she just didn't answer. And then like a month later she texted me like not acknowledging that she saw my message, or that she ignored my message. And she was like, hey Claudia, you want to do this and that? And I was like, oh no, like something happened or something, I don't know, something came up and I had to like reschedule or something. She would not answer me anytime I had something to say. Just got to a point where I was like, you know what, like I had brought this up to her before, how she doesn't answer and how that hurts my feelings and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like we have to like not be friends anymore if you cannot do this basic thing of responding in a timely manner, or acknowledging that you saw my message, you heard me, acknowledging that you like ghosted on our plans. I also had this one instance where I was friends with this guy. He introduced me to one of his friends, and his friend was interested in me, but the friend like hurt my feelings like intentionally. My original friend like knew about it and knew that the friend that was interested in me hurt my feelings. When I wanted to like spend time with the original friend, he just like kept avoiding me, brushing me off. And then a year later he was like, yeah, like I didn't want to hang out with you because I knew you were going to be sad. Hopefully you never need support like ever, because that is crazy. It's just funny because I was thinking about how before I started making content, there were so many people who like did not give me any time of day, did not bother to message me, even though I was constantly like trying to reconnect with people through Instagram or post on my story like, hey, like if anybody's in Toronto wants to hang out, like stuff like that. Nobody wanted to talk to me. I was more sad then, but now that I'm successful on Instagram, there's people who who've known me since then, who like haven't bothered to like talk to me, never bothered to talk to me, who are all of a sudden like, my gosh, girl, like we should hang out, because I have this perceived like happiness online. When I say like perceived happiness, it's like they see me doing fun things and fun activities and like, yeah, like that's fun. It's like in their mind, they're like, oh, she is happy now, like now she'll be fun to be around. Versus like before, when like I wasn't like online like crying or anything like, oh my gosh, please hang out with me or anything like that. But tone, the context is a bit different. It just makes me think, because I'm like, anytime I've ever had a friend or anything be in need, I don't avoid them. Everyone gets sad from time to time, so like why would you just like not try to be friends or be there for your friend? One, I know that these people are not really my friends, in the sense that like if you only want to be around somebody when they're in a good mood and don't care about you're essentially saying you don't care about their feelings, so you are not a true friend. Fine, whatever. And I know that, and it's just like a weird thing to think, because essentially these people are saying that they don't care about you, and that, or they're saying like, oh, like I'm shallow, I only want to be around you when you're in a good mood. Then you think that like, okay, they probably have other friends that they do show up for, support them when they're not doing well. Why is it that people think like they just treat different people differently for whatever reason? Like before they even know you, before they even like, you know, they've already just made up in their mind that they're not gonna like build a real connection with you. And like if super good things happen, like if it's a birthday, if it's like, you know, like a big thing, like a concert at a big event, or if something really bad happens and people like, that's when you know who cares about you. Like if somebody's having a birthday party or something, like this is one like metric that I use to kind of gauge how people feel about me, because like birthdays for example, that's like a big deal for me. Like a birthday like is the one day to celebrate, you know, yourself. It's one of the only times for some people that they actually get dressed up or like plan something. So if somebody's inviting you, it's like, oh, like cool, like they thought of you in that moment. Thing like if you are feeling really awful, you need support, like if somebody's like, hey Claudia, can I talk to you? Then it's like, oh, okay, like they thought of me in this moment. Kind of like something that I think about. Like I remember I had this one friend, and like for her birthday she'd always have like the biggest parties, and she'd be like going out of town, like renting like a hotel, having people like just a big event where you like have to coordinate a month or so in advance. And we were friends, and like we would hang out, and she would tell me about how she was planning stuff for her birthday and da-da-da, this person didn't show up at the last minute. And I'm like, okay, well, clearly you didn't even think to invite me. What type of friendship is this? Like obviously I'm not saying like every friend that you have, every person that you know has to be a close friendship. Everyone has like, you know, maybe friends that you've known since you were in school, people that you met later that might not be as close, like whatever. It's important, I think, to just remember how you fall into other people's lives. I used to get upset when people didn't see me the same way that I see them, because when I meet somebody, when I make a friend, I want to have that person in my life in some meaningful way. I don't want to just not appreciate them because they are a human being. Some people are not like that, and they want to be friends with you, but it might just be like, oh, this isn't going to be my main friend, so I don't care about them in this context or that context. They're going to be like my outside friend, and we're only going to hang out when, you know, she has, you know, money, or, you know, when she's happy. And if she says that she needs support, then like obviously like I don't have the time to care about that. Sometimes you just think, and I just have been thinking, it's weird to think that like some people just don't care. And there are people who like have friend groups and they don't talk about anything. Like it's the same with relationships. Like there are people who are dating and they don't talk about like deep stuff. Like I remember watching Love is Blind, and there was a girl on the show and she was talking about how she doesn't want to talk about deep stuff with her partner. She just wants to have like a fun marriage. The person that she was telling, like the guy she was talking to, was like, well, if I'm gonna be married to somebody, I want to be able to like, it's gonna have to be deep at some point. That's one of the reasons why they didn't end up like getting married or matching up or whatever. But it's just like, there are people who, they just want things to be light and fun, and anything that's not that is like outside of their wheelhouse. But yeah, I was just thinking, just my thoughts in my little pea-sized brain. Hopefully they make sense to you, and if they don't, then I sincerely apologize. But yeah, let me know what you think, if you can relate. I'll catch you on the flip side.